right, today's video, 1 month ownership review and almost 2,000 miles in my 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Before we jump into the video today, if you guys are looking for lights, Diode Dynamics rarely does a sale, but their one sale this year is live. Check it out. Starts July 1st. They're going to have a ton of stuff for sale, and if you want free shipping, use the code DAVIDFIGS and you'll get free shipping. So here's some of the SS3 pods that I use. And then I'm also using their chase lights. The SSC3s. But if you guys want to buy some lights, the timing is right, and use David Figs for free shipping. I'm out here, beautiful Colorado. Wanted to get some shots on the outside. This truck has been absolutely amazing. I have no regrets whatsoever, no major issues. I have jumped it barely. As soon as it hit 1,000 miles, I have driven through rivers, creeks. I have rock crawled it. I've done a lot, which is crazy to think about because it's only been 1 month. But this truck has been awesome. And if you're thinking about getting one, stop thinking. Just do it. It is pretty crazy to think that I've owned my Ranger Raptor for a month. And I've almost put 2,000 miles on this. It has been wild how fast time flies. And I want to talk to you guys about the ownership experience thus far. I know I've done a couple of these videos, and I know there's a ton of people right now contemplating whether they want to buy this truck or not. And hopefully you guys are getting gouged by dealers, but I wanted to talk through that. So for anybody that's new to the channel, my name is David Figs. I owned a Gen 2 F-150 Raptor. I traded that Gen 2 2019 F-150 Raptor for a 2014 F-150 Raptor Special Edition. So I had a Gen 1, and then I sold my Gen 1 Raptor to get this Ranger Raptor. So I've had a ton of different experiences. I've had a ton of dirt time on those 3 platforms, and so I want to talk through my initial impressions. I've owned this for a month. I'm pretty comfortable with this truck already. If you guys haven't seen my previous videos, as soon as this hit 1,000 miles, I took it on dirt. As soon as it hit 1,000 miles, it was actually 950 miles. And at the end of my off-roading, it was about 60 miles of off-roading, I hit 1,000 miles. So I thought that was pretty cool. If you haven't checked that video out, please do. And I've done some rock crawling in this. If you guys haven't seen my last 2 videos on Argentine Pass in Georgetown, Colorado, it's a very unique time of year where all the snow is starting to melt. And the trail is an actual like river. It was nuts. Unfortunately, it had some damage on the truck, nothing too major, but if you guys haven't checked that out, check that out. But this video, I want to more focus on the truck itself, how it's been living with this. I've done already a few road trips with my entire family. You know, I put almost 2,000 miles. I'm at 1,886 miles in 5 weeks. which is pretty gnarly. But you know, when I bought the truck in Nebraska, I drove home, and that was, I forget how many miles, 500-600 miles. So let's talk about how I think it is from just a daily driving side of things. It is extremely comfortable. I'm, you know, 5'11", 200 pounds. I'm not a, you know, I'm a wide dude, but I'm not a very tall person. I fit perfectly fine. Plenty of space. My wife has plenty of space in here too. She never complains about the size or missing the size of the F-150. Both my girls can get in the back, no problem. I got both car seats back there. Now, with 2 car seats and another person back there, they're a little cramped. That is one thing that the F-150 Raptors are just better, or just an F-150 in general, right? They're wider and there's more cabin space. But if that's not a scenario that you're ever gonna find yourself in, like, this is plenty of room. Plenty of room. The MPGs. Let's talk about the MPGs. So this is from, let's go actually to both trips. Trip fuel. So since owning the truck, right, it had 15 miles on it, or however many miles it was on it. So the past 1,875 miles, I have averaged almost like exactly 16.5 MPGs. Now, if I go to my oil change, 16.5, so exactly the same. I did oil change about 700 miles ago, just over 1,000 miles. So I'm getting 16.5. It's not that great. You know, I was getting 12 in the Gen 1, 11 in the Gen 1, so like 5 MPGs isn't great. I was hoping to get closer to 18 or 20 MPGs. You know, I'm not getting that thus far. I always, so my R settings, I never drive it in sport. I've driven it in sport. It's a little too choppy for me. I do like that it has that functionality to be a much more sporty feel, right? Sport suspension, sport throttle, sport shifting, like all of that. I like that it has it. I just, from daily driving, stopping, going, turning, all of that, I don't find a lot of use for it. So my R mode is Baja exhaust, normal suspension, and comfort steering. That is my go-to. And every single time I get in the truck, the first thing I do is I press R twice and I get into that mode. So that's how I've been driving it, right? Driving to and from work, different errands. Like, since I've gotten this truck, I'm sure most of you don't even know, I own a 2017 Shelby GT 350R. I literally have not driven that car since I bought this truck, which is a travesty. I need to change the brakes, the brake pads on it, so I'm hoping to find a weekend where I can just get that done and start driving that around now that the weather is better. But I haven't driven it at all. It's just have not driven it at all. I've been driving this non-stop, and I've been enjoying it. So from a daily driving perspective, I couldn't recommend this enough, right? I would say the one downside is the size, if you need the size, right? So you need to consider that. But this is one of the largest, from a cabin space, mid-size trucks on the market. So if you're looking for a mid-size and you want the most amount of space, I'm pretty sure this is it. You know, put a comment down below if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure when you look at the Tacoma, you look at the GMC, you look at the Bison, this has the most cabin space out of all of them. So if you're looking at mid-size and you want cabin space, this is it. The only downside, right, is the MPGs. It's not great. You don't really buy this truck for MPGs. The other thing that I haven't needed, but at some point will need, is to tow. And I would love to tow the Shelby to the tracks. Not my local track, I can drive to it, it's not that far away, but you know, to other tracks, I would love to trailer it. And the challenge is this thing only tows 5,500 pounds. So I could technically do it. I got to get a lightweight trailer. Obviously can't be an enclosed trailer. But again, I didn't buy this truck to be my, you know, toy hauler, if you will. But it does suck that it is on the low range of what it can tow versus the competition. I think the Tacomas are over 6,000 pounds. I know the normal ones are, just like the normal Rangers of these. But I think the Trail Hunter, maybe TRD Pro, was around 6,000, a little bit more. Now, the plus side is that the payload of this is probably best in class. I forget the payload numbers, but I do intend on figuring out an optimal, and I've never done this before. I never did it in my other Raptors, but now that my girls are getting older, this is something that I've really, really, really wanted to do, is get like an overlander setup. Now, I do want to be conscious of something that I can take off whenever I need, if I ever need to use the bed, something that's comfortable, but also something that can handle high speed / jumping the truck. Like, that's one thing I love about these things. Like, I want to go jump it, right? I want to go find a place that's safe, that I can go do it. I'll be going to Wyoming in a little over a month, so I intend on doing that. So keep a lookout for that. And then I'm going to also do the Ranger Raptor school, which is going to be cool in Utah in August. So keep a lookout for that. But that's sort of what I have in the works for this truck. From a pure modification standpoint, what else do I want to do on the truck? Well, from an aesthetics, there's one or two more items that I want to do from an appearance standpoint. Doesn't add a lot of function, if no function at all, just to make it a little bit more unique and my own. One of which will be coming soon, and I will be making a video on it, that I am pretty excited about, that a lot of Ranger Raptor owners wish the truck came with and didn't. So I'll put a little teaser for there if anybody can figure that out. But outside of that, now from a modification standpoint, number one on my list, perch collars. I want to get 2 or 2.5 inch perch collars on this ASAP. I know RPG does some perch collars. I know FMI, Foots Motorsports, does perch collars. That is next to my list. I want a set of perch collars, 2 or 2.5 inch. After that, I want to get tires. I've really enjoyed these tires. I've had a ton of grip. I haven't had any complaints. I haven't gone sideways. I haven't done a lot of the other stuff that I normally do just yet to fully test them, but I will be soon. It's the size of the tires I have problems with, not the tire itself. I do want to get closer to a 35-inch tire. Not a true 35. I think that's going to require a lot more cutting, drilling, etc. to be fully functional, because you guys have already seen I'm going to use this truck as intended. I'm going to jump it, I'm going to trail it, I'm going to high speed it, I'm going to do all that stuff. So I'm thinking more of a 34-inch to 34.5-inch tire, and then wheels, and that is it. That is my envision of phase 1 of the Dyno Nuggie, is to get those suspension components, the 2 or 2.5-inch perch collars, wheels, and tires. But if you are thinking about buying this truck, if you're on the fence about it, literally on the fence, I don't care if you've owned a Gen 1 before or a full-size Raptor before, I am telling you, I absolutely love this thing, and I have zero regrets. I am so glad that I decided to do this. I absolutely love it. Everything about it. The touch feel, I've talked about that countless times. But if you're thinking about it, I would do it. If you're looking for a dealer that does MSRP, the dealer that I went to, that you can see in my previous videos in Nebraska, Woodhouse, Can't recommend them enough. MSRP, I was in and out 10 minutes. Flew out, got the paperwork done, and I was driving home within 10 minutes. It was unbelievable. But that's it for today's video. 1 month ownership, just about to hit 1,900 miles. I hope you guys like it. Keep a lookout for videos coming down. If there's anything missing or anything you guys want to see, put a comment down below. Peace.